Hey friend, what's up? How you doing? It's me, Devin Marvell. Can we talk about Whoopi Goldberg, Kendall Jenner, Pepsi, and cultural appropriation? I know what you're thinking. How do any of these things have anything in common? Well, let's talk about it. So, Pepsi dropped an ad starring Kendall Jenner, and it had a lot of backlash because it portrayed Kendall Jenner. She was doing her thing, modeling or whatever, and then she notices that there's something awry outside. So she goes outside to check on it. She ditches her blonde wig and she goes to see what's going on, and she sees that it's a protest. So she joins the protest, and she goes and she pop locks and break dances with some black guy, and then she goes over to some black girl and she's like, sister girl, and then she starts passing out fried chicken and watermelon to everybody in the crowd. Just kidding, but that's how it might as well have been, because the whole thing was just goofy. What actually happened was Kendall Jenner ended up grabbing a Pepsi, taking it over to one of the police officers who were trying to control the protest or whatever. And all was well. Kendall Jenner cured systemic racism just like that with a Pepsi. And everybody was like, who knew that all it took was a Pepsi? Even one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughters would tweet it, if only daddy knew the power of Pepsi. And I was like, legendary, read him, go ahead. So Whoopi Goldberg, this is where she comes in, that she's on The View. They were talking about this, and the conversation surrounding the commercial, it was really good at first, and then it kind of took a turn towards the end when Whoopi Goldberg went on this rant about how she's tired of hearing about cultural appropriation. What happened was her co-host, Sunny Hostin, brought up the fact that Kendall Jenner has had a run-in being accused of cultural appropriation in the past. So at this point, she should know better. I mean, and that's what other people are saying as well. Kendall Jenner, you're not new to this, girl. We've already, came for you and your family plenty of times on this subject. But the controversy surrounding the ad had nothing to do with cultural appropriation. Nobody was saying that it was cultural appropriation. The problem is Pepsi trying to profit off of the plight of black people and a serious issue that is still going on today, and using a white woman as the face of it. It was ridiculous. So after that was brought up, Whoopi Goldberg says, I'm so tired of hearing about cultural appropriation. It's making me crazy. And you know what? If we're gonna go with this whole cultural appropriation thing, then then wear natural hair. Stop wearing the white lady's hair. Because if you're wearing the white lady's hair, isn't that cultural appropriation? And immediately I was like, Whoopi, why, Whoopi? Oh no, baby, what is you doing, Whoopi? I was shocked, because I'm like, how are you that rich at this point in your life where you are that disconnected? Because that is the only thing that I could come up with. Now, this is not the first time that Whoopi Goldberg has had an issue with kind of splurting out some ignorant mess when it comes to dealing with the topic of race relations in this country. I think a lot of times we've just kind of, given it a pass, and I'm sure that this time will be no different. But I just want to make sure that we can clarify why, what exactly is cultural appropriation. Now, I can't lie. I have had my own issues with cultural appropriation as far as not knowing, okay, where is that line drawn between being inspired by something from another culture and appropriating it. So you know what I did? I did what we as Americans need to do. I went and contacted my good friend, Google, and I was like, hey Google, what you doing, girl? And she was like, nothing, what's up? I know you got a question for me. And I was like, yeah, cultural appropriation, what is that? But, what's good with that? So Google gave me all these great sources, that I went and I read through, and I found some great stuff. So I will share that with you. So cultural appropriation, it pretty much breaks it down like this. Cultural appropriation is when you take something from another culture, don't give credit to it, try to pass it off as something new or trendy, or don't use it in the sense that it is supposed to be used. For example, Native American headdresses, it's something that is seen as very sacred to Native Americans, and it's something that you have to earn. It's, I think, only chiefs wear it, and it's something very special. Whereas, in America, it's kind of become a costume and something cute to wear to Coachella or, for a photo shoot. That's cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation is these fashion magazines saying that hairstyles such as cornrows and bantu knots are something new and trendy, and using white models whose culture doesn't come from as the face of this new trendy thing. That is cultural appropriation. Now, the thing about America is we are one big giant melting pot of different cultures, and it's such an amazing and beautiful thing. So it makes it kind of hard not to take, you know, from the different cultures that we interact with on a daily basis throughout our lives here in this country. And the difference between that and cultural appropriation is that it's called cultural exchange. For example, like a white person who grew up in New York in the 80s who was surrounded by a hip hop culture, that is something that could be considered a cultural exchange. Hip hop music, jazz music, rock music, music in general is something that would be considered as a cultural exchange. It's not something that's really held sacred and exclusive to a culture. So it's shared and taught and interpreted in different ways. So that's called cultural exchange. So we have cultural appropriation, we have cultural exchange, and then we have assimilation. Now this is what Whoopi Goldberg was talking about. Cultural assimilation is when a marginalized group of people assimilate to their surroundings, meaning as a survival tactic, they adjust to whatever the majority of people are into or whatever they're doing. So for example, how Whoopi Goldberg brought up wearing weaves or wearing the white woman's hair, which, side notes, nobody is out here wearing a white woman weave. They are, it's usually like Brazilian or Indian. I don't think it's ever Caucasian hair, but I could be wrong, I haven't seen it, I'm just saying. But the thing about that is most Black women cannot wear their natural hair in the workplace because it is seen as inappropriate. It is deemed as unprofessional and tacky. This is the way that we have been taught to view natural, curly, rough textured hair on Black people. Actually, as a matter of fact, just last year, a court of law ruled that it was okay to discriminate against people who have dreadlocks, and that it's actually not racial discrimination, deeming dreadlocks unprofessional. Dreadlocks for some people might just be a cool hairstyle that represents being a hippie or a Rasta or whatever, while to other people it's a protective hairstyle, or it is a part of their identity as a part of their culture. All right, so we have cultural appropriation, we have cultural exchange, and we have assimilation, which was what Whoopi Goldberg was talking about. Also, Whoopi, another point that I would like to make is that hair texture is not a part of a culture. Hair texture is not exclusive to any culture. There are Black people who are born with straight hair. There are Black people who are born with blonde hair, red hair, brown hair. It's not all just black and kinky hair. It's not all just everybody just has an afro. There are many different textures that Black people are born with naturally. So it's ignorant to sit here and say, well, if you wear straight hair, then you are culturally appropriating white culture, because number one, there is no such thing as white culture. Number two, you can't appropriate a hair texture. That's just silly. It's just stupid. So yeah, Whoopi, do better. I'm gonna give you my homegirl Google A's number. Actually, I'm gonna give you her website. It's www.google.com, and just hit her up sometime and just see. I'm telling you, she has all the answers, and she's really a blessing. That's all I have to say about it. What did you guys think about the commercial? Did you guys hear about Whoopi Goldberg's comments? Let me know. And what do you think about this whole cultural appropriation thing? Are people being sensitive? Are they overreacting? I don't know, but make sure you do your research before you try to say anything on the subject. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another video, and make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stairway to Devon. Check out the Facebook page, Stairway to Devon, and my YouTube and my blog, stairwaytodevon.wordpress.com. Everything is Stairway to Devon. If you want to find me, you know how to do it. Thanks for being a friend. Bye.